Football on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power. Ready for your next big move? The trip from the fridge to the couch. Gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
Now then, very happy to say Mark Lawrenson joins us. Evening, Mark.
Evening.
Last time I saw you, you were on Football Focus telling everybody what you would do with a GoPro if you had one, which was quite the moment.
Yeah, I've had a few comments.
I'll bet. So the Liverpool situation continues. Last 10 games, Liverpool are 15th in the table when it comes to form, 3 defeats in a row. I'm going to play you some audio, first of all. It's even, so bad it leads to rumours, and I know rumours are easily created, but there were rumours Jurgen Klopp might be on the cusp of resignation. And obviously he's had such a horrible week. You can only imagine what it must be like to have to miss your own mother's funeral. Horrific. So your heart goes out to him. But Klopp was addressing, this sense that he might be on the wane somehow or burnt out. Have a listen.
Jurgen, there's been a lot of support for you from fans over the last 48 hours. The banner at the Kop, for example. What do you make of that, the outpouring from Liverpool fans for you? And were you aware that there was rumours saying that you might leave on Saturday?
So I heard about both. So yeah, the banner is nice. Obviously, not necessary. I don't think so. I don't feel that I need special support in a moment or whatever, but it's nice, very nice. And what was the other thing that I could leave? Would leave?
Rumours circulating. And
what was the rumours about?
Also, I've turned Paul on to mute. The rumours were that you were leaving or taking a break.
Okay, neither nor. I don't need a break. So I heard as well about that. Look, the last thing I want to do is talking about private things in a press conference. But everybody knows, yes, privately we had a absolutely tougher time. But that is not only for now 3 weeks ago or whatever. That was a much longer time already. So and we always deal with it as a family. 100%. And when I came here to the football club to work, I'm 53. I work in football since 30 years as a coach since 20 years. I can split things. I can switch off. One thing is and the other thing, and I don't carry things around. If I'm private, I'm private. If I'm in football at a workplace, then I'm here. Of course, we are influenced by things that happen around, but nobody has to worry about me or whatever. I might not look like this because the weather is not cool, and I'm white, and the beard gets more and more gray. All these kind of things. Yes, I don't sleep a lot. That's all true, and my eyes look like that's all fine. But I'm full of energy. Honestly, the situation is a challenge. I see it more as no, I don't want to have the situation, but now we are in, and now I see it as a challenge, an interesting challenge. So I cannot ask a lot of people. Nobody wrote a book about, again, how did you come in a situation like that and how do you sort it? But we will sort it.
Mark, I have to say, I think that's a pretty convincing dismissal of those rumours.
Yeah, there was also, I don't know whether you heard this one, that Robertson and Alisson had a bit of a fisticuffs in the dressing room, which also was a complete horlicks. I spoke to someone this morning, one of the journos that's covered the club for years and years and years, and obviously he gets loads of stuff, and he just started laughing. He said, "Oh my God," he said, "since Trump came out with fake news," he said, "that's all we get nowadays."
Yeah, I guess it's easy to make up rumours.
Yeah.
The goals conceded against Leicester were pretty dreadful.
Well, listen, so at 1-0, obviously, and they were decent. I think Leicester just only had the one real chance, I suppose, when Vardy hit the crossbar. I thought they were in control of the game. And all right, obviously, Leicester scored from the free kick. First it was disallowed and then wasn't, so you've got to live with that. Now, the second goal is the one that absolutely does them in, because Alisson doesn't have to come. There's no way, rhyme or reason, you have to come 35, 40 yards out of your goal when Kabak was looking to try and deal with it. I feel a bit sorry for Kabak because ball's kind of come in behind him. He's gone to go and rectify the situation. Next thing is, it's like rabbit in the headlines. You've got the goalkeeper running at him and he's 6'5". You're thinking, what the hell? So, and then the third goal, obviously, Salah gave the ball away, but that's when you're not playing particularly well. that's what happens. But I thought actually, and I don't need to defend Liverpool at all because it is a bad spell, but I thought generally they'd look much better than Leicester through the course of the game, and that's a goalkeeper twice in 2 games. And look, he's been absolutely brilliant for them. He was a major reason why they won the league last year, and at the moment he's having a mad couple of weeks. But I think what they will do with him is let him play through it. I think that's the only thing you can do. And when somebody's world class, it doesn't take them too long before they show that they're world class again.
The thing which jumped out to me about that second goal was Klopp afterwards saying he didn't even hear Alisson shout, and he would have heard, obviously, given the stadium is empty. I mean, it's one thing coming out, it's another thing not to shout when you're coming out.
Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, the thing is, does Kabak speak any English? He's of Turkish extract, isn't he, and played in Germany, so I don't even know if he talks any English. I don't know whether that came in to the situation. But listen, if Alisson just stays in goal and lets Kabak try and deal with the situation, and then if he fails, and Vardy or whoever's free on goal, you've still got a chance of the goalkeeper saving it. And I just think at the moment, basically, when he should stick the goalkeeper, he comes out, and when he comes out, he sticks, and that's just that split-second thing in your mind. And I think also, and I know a little bit about this, which is that, you know, if you are such a good player, I think that when you make a couple of mistakes in the game, the next game, all you really want to do is just rectify that whole thing. Just say, "Oh, well, it was obviously a one-off." And I think just. I mean, had a little one in the first half where Vardy was almost through, and I don't think he should have come out then, and he wouldn't have got anywhere near it. But I think he was just then, his state of mind is, I need to solve this. I need to solve this situation. And that split second, do I go, do I stay? And he's just come rampaging out of his area. So it's a little bit of a worry, but it's just something they're going to have to deal with.
Interested for your thoughts on the third goal, because Thiago and Kabak again conspired between them to just leave Harvey Barnes go. Now, certainly in Match of the Day, they really pointed the finger at Thiago. They kind of said, look, he never hands him off. He just kind of drifts out, and it's not like he hands him over to Kabak in any vociferous way. And it's just a worrying thing for him to have done, because it just shows a lack of kind of alertness to danger.
Absolutely, and he'd been on long enough, so it shouldn't have been an issue. But that's the problem with all of them at the moment, that they're all making these mistakes. And I wouldn't call them being superhuman before, but they were certainly at the very, very top of the game. But they've now all started making mistakes. I mentioned in the past when Salah gave the ball away, I felt sorry for the centre-back. He's been chucked in. He obviously played with Henderson, which was absolutely fine. But it's his first game. He's got to play against Vardy, which is extremely difficult for anybody at the top of the game anyway. I just hope that doesn't send him back, you know, thinking, oh, my goodness, is that what this is all about? So he'll need looking after as well. Look, you know, in every position at the moment, they're just making mistakes. I mean, even at the weekend again with, I think, Robertson probably got forward a bit more than he has done of late. His crossing wasn't particularly good at all. Trent looked ordinary against someone who attacks him, which he's now done for quite a few weeks. So he can kind of point the finger at lots and lots of the players. But I'll reiterate the fact that they really were in control of that game. I mean, privately, if you'd asked Brendan Rodgers, he's probably thinking we could get done 2 or 3 here.
And on Kabak, so, you know, Turkish central defender, 21 years of age, they've signed him for €1 million initially, and they have the option to buy him for what could be €26 million down the line. Away from the mistakes, general impressions?
I think he was fine. He was comfortable, and you know, he's also, you know, don't forget, he's not playing with an experienced centre back, someone who can talk him through. He's playing with Henderson, who obviously wants to play in midfield. So I do think with him, I mean, my heart went out for him, because I think, you know, if he's alongside even Matip, say, let alone Van Dijk and Gomez, I think he skates through it. And it was just it's a difficult start for him, but everybody tells me that seeing him play in Germany that he's going to be a proper player. So, you know, people who I respect, I would have to take their impression rather than just for seeing him for, 90 minutes plus.
Yeah. There is, of course, one way Liverpool can salvage this season. That's the Champions League. So Leipzig away, first leg in Budapest. We saw them at Old Trafford. They lost 5-0. They did make the semis last year. They concede a lot of goals. So they've conceded 12 in 6 thus far in the Champions League. That is the highest tally of any team in the knockout stages. They're a pressing team. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict anything from Liverpool right now. How do you see this?
Oh, absolutely. It's impossible. So I would think Klopp will be saying to them, just remember Saturday until obviously they conceded the second goal. He said because generally, but they did it. The destination of the game was always going to be in Liverpool's way until, of course, they came up with the mistake. So I think he'd be looking for more of that. I don't particularly know what he can do with the team. That's a difficult one. I don't know. I don't even know if. Do you know if Fabinho's travelled? Do we know that?
We don't know if he's travelled. He's certainly a doubt still, though.
Yeah, a doubt still. So look, I don't know who's going to play at centre back. But I just feel, and I said this last week, which is that generally the strength of the team at the moment is the three boys going forward, the three strikers. I think there's no doubt about that whatsoever. So let's make midfield as strong as we possibly can. And if that means chucking Henderson back in there and playing someone else at the back, let's just go and do it, because the team's conceding goals anyway, regardless of who's playing in there. But let's look at it a different way, and let's try and outscore the opposition. I think that at the moment is probably Liverpool's best way of doing it, because, as we know, they need a win, and if they get a 4-3 win, they will absolutely slap your hand off for it.
Yeah. So get Henderson back in there, because, as you say, they're not conceding anyway. So what's he bringing to the party, for instance, that Thiago isn't quite able to bring, it seems?
Legs. I think legs is the first thing, because we've got him in there, and you've got Wijnaldum, and because they are very, very protective in terms of the back four. That's the first job they do, but also they cover some ground, and I mean what they do is they pen teams in. The front three go and they push on, they press, and then the midfield players press as well, and they make it really difficult for teams to get out. And if you watch Liverpool at the best, when you watch the opposition midfield players when they get the ball, they do not get a split second to get their head up and look where to pass it forward, because Liverpool are onto them. So that would be the major thing for me. And listen, I'm a Thiago fan. I don't think he's got the legs to get up and down all the time. But if you stick him in a position where he's central to everything and doesn't have to cover too much ground, his passing is brilliant. All right, didn't play particularly well on Saturday. Well, you can name a few who were exactly the same, but I think he's very much a plus. And I think Kate is very close to getting back, isn't he? I think Diogo Jota as well can't be far away. So just that whole competition for places every single where, apart obviously from central defence. But I mean, I did a thing for the club on the Friday, and somebody said to me, "What do you think the team will be tomorrow?" And I had Phillips in it. Just because he's been the most consistent of all the centre backs they've had, including Fabinho. Every time Phillips has come in, he's done really, really well. So I was quite surprised that Kabak actually started, and I just thought it was a really dangerous game, especially with Vardy, because we know what he's like, and also Maddison is such a clever player, and Harvey Barnes, of course. You just kind of think maybe put him on the bench and let him have another look at it, but look, he's gone. It doesn't really make any difference now.
Mark, do you sense Klopp has been frustrated with the club in terms of how they've handled the Van Dijk situation, the injury?
In what way do you mean?
That they didn't go out and put their money where their mouth was and really back him in the transfer window, get a big name in, go for broke and give him a great chance at the next 5 months.
I don't think that's been a major problem with him whatsoever, because he's always waited for players anyway, and we know it's just been so. I mean, the lad's just going to Bayern Munich, hasn't he? I can't remember the name. He's signed. Do you know who I mean?
No.
He signed a pre-contract with Munich, and he goes in the summer, and everyone's been looking at him, including Liverpool and stuff, but he was never going to leave in January. So what I'm trying to say is to actually get somebody in January, because don't forget, you want a ready-made central defender, and you want a top-class excuse me, a central defender. They're not about in January unless you pay absolute fortunes.
And should they have done that? Should they have broken the bank?
Hindsight. No, I think we had this conversation, I think, a while ago, and I just didn't think they would go and buy somebody for zillions because I just didn't think that was their way. But also there's one thing about Klopp, and he's been proven right in this, and even Van Dijk, 75 million, and we all rolled our eyes and thought, whoa, he's probably paid 25 million quid too much. Well, he hadn't, had he? So he knows his players and he knows what he wants. And we know that, head of recruitment, Michael Edwards, has done brilliant for them so far. And I just imagine there wasn't anybody around there that they thought would be value for money and be good enough to get in their team, basically.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm basing the question on not very much his disposition in interviews as much as anything. But to be fair, I mean, he was spiky when they lost to City at the end of last season with Jeff Shreves, and things were going swimmingly then. So you can overread it into his crankiness at the moment. It can be as simple as, well, we're losing.
Well, yeah, but also, listen, he can't go to his mother's funeral. I mean, yeah, I'm talking the last 2-3 months. Like they playing Saturday at midday, all that stuff. It's been kind of a theme this season. This week, absolutely, it's different. Yeah, because I think, but you know what I think it is. It's because, excuse me, I think we all said it as well at the start of the season. It will be so difficult for Liverpool to win the league again. And I think I was always like, City are going to be the ones to beat. They get defensive problems sorted, and it looks like it's turning out that way. So, and I think Klopp knew as well, having won obviously a major league in his country of birth, is the fact that to win it again is unbelievably difficult. So, I think he's just the fact he's under pressure. He's some of the questions he has to field, you can understand why they're asked some of them, and you just think generally tries to kind of bat them away and come up with something in German that we all think, whoa, what a fantastic explanation that is. He's probably at his wit's end at the moment, because Saturday will be a great thing about that, example about that, insofar as they were cruising in that game. They really were cruising. We hardly saw Leicester as an attacking outfit at all, made relatively few chances. Liverpool were playing really well, passing the ball well, having chances, etc., and scored, obviously, an outstanding goal through Salah. And basically, they should have gone on and won that 3-0. And if they were playing well and no one was having an issue at the moment in terms of confidence, they would have won it.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. Mark, always great to have you on. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
Cheers. That's Mark Lawrenson with us. Football and Off the Ball is with thanks to Paddy Power. For information on responsible gambling, you can visit gamblingcare.ie. We'll have Pat Nevin with us, by the way, after 9 o'clock. I know there was more than Liverpool at the weekend to discuss. We'll do that with Pat after 9. And of course, there is West Ham, Sheffield United, Chelsea, Newcastle on this evening as well.